Thanks to the efforts of your servants, you arrived precisely on time. Which is to say, right in time to see about half of the delegates milling around aimlessly, while waiting for the other half to dignify the event with their appearances. Do you gamble, Lady Sora? Shall we wager on who shall be the last to make their arrival, and how long they will make the rest of us wait? For myself, I would put the odds on Lord Blaine. He seems overly fond of beautifying himself, and far less fond of mornings. You turn in surprise to see the Dowager Countess. My lady, I had no idea you were accompanying us this morning. Sadly, no. I no longer ride. I shall spend my morning waiting here in the garden and keeping company to any who return early. I do envy you all, though. I used to love riding. Ironically, it was the last thing I did before I ended up in this. I was gonna say if she was in a wheelchair or something, or just a regular chair. I guess people have to help her walk around. I'm so sorry. Don't be, child. I've had a long time to come to terms with my accident. I was probably no older than you were at the time, and just newlywed. Is this gonna be another example of foreshadowing? Oh, forgive me. I didn't mean to live up to the stereotypes you young people have about us older ladies, and go all melancholy while we're regaling you with the stories of days long gone. We'll have to be polite, of course, so what are the options? Like, nothing of it, lady? Yes, please do keep such dull, depressing stories to yourself. Certainly not going to say that one and annoy her. There's much to be learned from these stories. Melancholy or not, so long as they are true. Oh. So we're kind of subtly calling her a liar, I think. Again, that's probably not the best. I hope you'll not say such harsh things about yourself if you wish to talk about your past or accident. Of course, I am more than happy to listen. Yeah, we'll do the last option. That way we can kind of maybe learn a little bit more about her, because that's certainly interesting. Thank you, child. You're very kind. Good morning, Yvette. How long do you think we'll be forced to wait here before we can finally set off? Lady Sora and I were just laying the odds for that very question, and who shall be the one who causes the longest delay? Without a doubt, it will be my new personal headache, Lord Blaine. I swear, if he were not my brother's godson, the boy would have been dead 10 times over by the time he hit puberty. Wow. At last the mystery of his survival is explained. The odds of the female chaperone's guess proving correct is increased as more and more latecomers made their way into the gardens, including Princess Gisette and her brother, Prince Jared. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Seeing a couple more people are joining the chat. Good morning, Lady Sora. You're looking very well this morning, isn't she? Jared. Well, I'm pretty sure... Well, I don't think we're in that bad terms with him. I think she's more pissed off at us than anyone else. The princess elbows her brother into something that was halfway between a grunt and a shrug. But she smiled as if he had given the most eloquent agreement. Well, we had best head towards the stables. My brother's very particular about his horseflesh. Horseflesh? Perhaps we'll have the chance to chat on the ride. The pair headed off, but you weren't left alone with the chaperones for long. Good morning, Aunt Jaslyn. Please tell me you aren't torturing Lady Sora and the good Countess with your soliloquies on the latest trends in silk. Of course not, your lady's company is delightful, as is that of Lady Yvette. Terrible thing for nephew to say. Finally found your limit. You flatter and flirt with every woman except the ones you're related to. Well, at least he has that. Reservations, anyway. Yeah, we'll be polite for him, why not? When I get to see 3 such beautiful faces first thing in the morning, how could I not be well? You're impossible. Keep dropping nonsense like that on me so early in the morning, and you'll be giving me indigestion. See if you remain my favorite nephew then. Of course I will. Have you met my brothers? Not one who can discuss fashion with you in the lot. I am confident my position is secure. It is then that Lord Blaine stumbles out bleary-eyed and scowling, just like everyone predicted. But to the disappointment of Lady Yvette and Princess Jaslyn, he is not actually the last delegate to arrive. That honor goes to one of the female delegates from Revere, oh well, who decided that the finishing touch on a routine should be a hat filled with colorful feathers at least a foot high each. Yeah, most likely we're going to be going for Hammond. He seems to be my favorite choice anyway. I don't know if he's the best choice, because it's pretty subjective, I guess. Now that everyone has assembled, you are all herded towards the stables. As the stables aren't big enough to handle all the delegates at once, you're told to wait outside while the servants lead out horses and help everyone to mount. So we know that there's going to be something bad that happens because there was that ill omen with the bird flying to the window early in the morning. You're brought to a large white horse that shuffles uneasily under its handler's care. Wow, so we're given the nervous horse, of course. You don't know enough about horses to tell if this is normal behavior or not. No, it's probably a sign that the horse is skittish and it's probably gonna like run off or something, I'm guessing. Or we're gonna lose control of it. Animal and plant knowledge failure. Yeah, all these, whenever this happens, it reminds me just like, what is it? I was gonna say the royal trap, but it's not the royal trap, it's Long Live the Queen. Because of the difficulties making your mount stay still for you to get on your, let me try that again. Because of the difficulties making your mount stay still enough for you to get on, you are one of the last, you are one of the, okay, there should be a comma there, I think. You are one of the last delegates to mount. Led by the surprisingly agile rider, Head Butler, most of the rest of the delegates are already riding on their way to explore the grounds. Essentially, everyone you have come to know the past week and a half is far ahead. You aren't even close enough to make out most of what the head butler is saying. We're gonna get left behind and killed, aren't we? Because we picked the option where you can get killed, so it's probably gonna happen. Oh. Thankfully, you're not forced to awkwardly ride by yourself as Princess Cordelia neatly rides up to join you. How polite. You would think that with all their experience, the staff would be better at organizing these events, but I have found the self-introductions and now this ride rather sloppily executed. I wonder if they expect those of us who prefer a more leisurely ride to simply educate ourselves on the environs and dangers they seem to so concerned about. Not to mention the inherent danger in the group separating. If something were to happen with this lack of organization, how would they expect to respond? Exactly, that's the problem. Are things usually more carefully organized than he say? I confess that would surprise me a little. We aren't all drunken pirates who thrive on chaos. Just most of us. The corners of your mouth twitch as you realize that the princess has made a joke. No crap. As you are in the back of the group and stuck keeping company with the cautious rider that the princess turned out to be, the pair of you made slow progress. Well, that's okay because we have a friend. The front of the group gets more and more distant, and most of the people who are riding near the back with you are poor riders, spending most of their concentration or staying astride. At least, it is nice weather for a ride. Hammond's pretty awesome. He says cuisine is more fish-based. Yeah, that would make sense. Christy says that she hung out with Emmett enough to find out that, oh, what was wrong with his horse? Or our horse, rather. Because I'm assuming something's wrong with our horse. I just don't know what it is. Based on the fact that it was rather skittish, maybe someone did something to it before we got on. I'm fairly certain that something's going to come into play here. Hopefully she'll protect us, being that she's involved this time around. Does look like it'll be a nice day. The only positive thing can say about the morning is the weather. It's a rather bad sign. How long are they going to expect us to ride? It seems like all these are complaining, which I hate to do. I'll say the last one, that's kind of positive. Princess Cordelia makes no response as you have left the forest past the grounds of the castle, and instead come upon a large field filled with flowers. The princess gasps in pleasure. This is the same field that we came upon with the other two? Oh, how lovely. A few of the delegates have dismounted in order to get a closer look at the flowers, and Cordelia quickly joins them, smelling the flowers happily. Your horse, on the other hand, has been getting harder and harder to control. Even your easy pace has caused it to slide and twitch. You're afraid that if you dismount, there'll be no chance of getting back on. You're considering the merits of getting off versus staying on, when suddenly, oh, here we go. There's a loud banging noise that echoes throughout the meadow. Before we can stop it, your horse is racing off, wild and out of control. Here we go, I knew something was going to happen. Flustered by the sudden wild breakneck pace of the horse, you're unable to remain calm. Yeah, we're going to get poise failure. Well, here we go. This is probably the part where we're going to get killed, unless our relationships save us, which might be an option. Your eyes widen with the beginnings of panic, as you realize that your horse is wildly racing not through a peaceful meadow, but straight towards the island's cliffs. The horse is headed right towards the edge and makes no sign of slowing, let alone stopping. You can't help but feel a wave of terrified panic at the realization that you are rushing straight towards what could only be a painful, terrifying death. Rip playthrough. Courage failure. If you do nothing, there's very little doubt that you won't survive your horse's mad flight. It isn't just a question of pressure, it's also a question of time. As in, you're running out of it. Well, no crap. And your mind isn't working fast enough. Quick thinking failure. This reminds me so much of Long Live the Queen. The cliffs are drawing closer and closer. You're going to have to act or it will be too late. Unfortunately, you do not have the training or the instincts to know what to do in such a dangerous situation. Defensive instincts failure. Jeez. As the cliff edge comes closer and closer, you squeeze your eyes shut, having come to the realization that you lack the ability to save yourself. But just as the terror is about to win, you feel a strongly muscled arm wrap around your waist and tug you off of your horse and onto his. It's Hammond! Oh yeah, that's awesome! I'm so glad that he's the one that saved us. That's so cool, because he's the one that we're actually going for. Easy, Glitter. I've got you. You're safe now. You're flooded with a wave of relief as you realize that you've been saved, followed immediately by a swirling head and clenching stomach when you look and see how close to the edge you came. I think you need to let me down or I'm gonna be sick. Alarmed, Hammond pulls his horse to a stop and you gratefully slide back to solid ground. Prince Zared walks up to the pair of you, somehow having managed to calm down and retrieve your horse in the chaos. He leads both his horse and yours up to where you're standing, but his attention is on Hammond. I think Lady Sora is going to need a new mount. Since you seem to be a better rider than I am, will you go to the stables and tell them what has happened? Hammond pauses, giving you a long considering look before finally nodding. Alright, I'll be back soon, Glitter. And if anything happens, just give a shout and I'll be right back. Hammond rides off, leaving you alone with Zared and your horse. A glittering rescue, yes! Saved by Hammond. Very nice. The Prince of Corval gives you a measuring look, before finally nodding to himself as if having come to a decision. He pulls up the saddle and gear of your horse, as if looking for something. Your horse whinnies in pain as he quickly pulls something from where it has dug deeply into the horse's back, so there was something planted on the horse. There we go. Yeah, if you fail to get off the horse yourself, Hammond or another dude can save you. It depends on your relationship with him. Alright, pretty cool. Saying nothing, he opens his palm and shows you what is inside. You look down at the bright red thorn with a confused look on your face. Someone tried to kill us, no doubt. What's that? A thorn from Mork Bush. More commonly known as the fire thorn, for its ability to grow increasingly painful the longer it's been in contact with flesh. It also has properties that when it's embedded in the flesh of an animal, it causes them to act with increasingly erratic behavior. You think someone put it underneath my horse's saddle? Deliberately. No doubt. I think it's the most likely explanation, yes. And anyone who would do that probably didn't plan on you surviving this ride. You swallow. It wasn't exactly fun when your near-death experience seemed like an accident. Now you know that it was almost surely an assassination attempt. If you want my advice, you should tell as few people about this as possible. I don't know, man. Prince Zared, he's from where? Let's see. I think he's from the same country we are. Relationships. He's from Corval, and we're from Corval as well. So do we trust him? I guess we can trust him. He seemed fair to us so far. Those who pay attention to such things will already know you have successfully thwarted that attempt. By proclaiming what happened with no proof and no firm suspect, you will only label yourself as a victim. And worse, a victim that has an enemy who wants you dead. Yeah, but then again, if no one knows about it, then no one can really help us stop it. I don't know. It's difficult to know what to do. I don't know what you're really hoping to accomplish here at the summit, but whatever it is, that can only hurt you and bring you a lot of the wrong kind of attention. If you want to get to the bottom of this, I suggest that you investigate this quietly instead. Your mind filled with racing thoughts of what had happened, and what you should do about it. The rest of the ride is a blur. A new horse was procured. Prince Zared explained to everyone else you had had a bit of an accident and were a bit shaken up, but you were fine. You looked to see if anyone looked disappointed that you still lived, but everyone looked relieved that you were safe, concerned about you, or at the worst, indifferent. Your mind's still in your mind is still in a disordered mess when the ride is over and you return to your room. It is strange that Rhea and Syra aren't there to greet you and help you change out your riding habit, but when you catch a glimpse of Jasper's pale, tight face, you somehow know. He knows. And he probably sent the maids away so that he could talk to you in private. My lady, are you well? We already told Jasper before that someone was trying to kill us, so even if he is the traitor, does it really matter if we tell him about this? I don't know, I guess I'll let you guys in chat who are around recommend which option we pick for this one. Should we come right out and say that someone tried to murder us, or should we pick one of the less specific options? What do you think? I'll give it a few seconds for you guys to decide. Because the thing is, we already told him about the letter threatening us, so even if he is a traitor, he kind of knows already. The second option, yeah, I kind of felt that we should go with that anyway, since we already told him. So I think that's the one we'll do. Let's see what happens. His face tightens into a frown, but for once you're confident that you are not the subject of his disapproval. I'm very sorry for what happened today. If it had been there, no matter. I'm relieved to see that you're well. How did you know? Do you know? Prince Zared advised me against telling anyone, and I don't think that he did. Prince Zared is correct, and I am grateful for his help and his advice. It'll be far easier for me to look into this matter if we keep it quiet, and it will cause less trouble for you. So he's kind of saying that Prince Zared told him already? Unless he's just talking about his advice to her. I think that's probably what it is. It's only until after he's moved to pace across the room that you realize that he has neatly dodged your question, which is even more suspicious. Rhea and Syra will return soon. For now, I can only advise that you go about your week here as if nothing has happened. It will send a better message to whoever plotted this than blind accusations or distress ever could. You nod and prepare to go about the rest of your day. Yeah, alright.